Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle a problem that, let's be honest, plagues just about every organization. How do you figure out what's really going on inside your data? We're going to walk through a really cool, modern workflow that can turn these mountains of statistics into a simple conversation. It's going to make data analysis a whole lot easier.
It all boils down to this old management saying, which is just absolutely key when it comes to data quality. But for most companies, their data is this giant black box. They expect it to be clean, consistent, ready to go, but they rarely get a chance to truly inspect what's actually inside.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So today, we're going to walk through a workflow that does exactly that. It's a combination of a super flexible open source tool and a pretty specialized AI assistant that, together, finally let us crack open that black box.
All right, let's dive right into the heart of it, the inspection problem itself. See, before you can fix your data, or clean it, or even use it, you first need a totally honest, unfiltered look at what you're dealing with. But how do you do that? Well, the solution kicks off with a process called data profiling. The absolute best way to think about this is like a complete health checkup for your data. Seriously, it's that first essential step where you examine every little piece of your data set to find all those hidden problems and figure out, what actually needs to be fixed or transformed.
Okay, so you could go out and buy these really expensive, kind of locked-down tools for this, things like Informatica or DataStage. But what we're looking at today is something different. It's an open and totally customizable alternative, a T-SQL kit from data expert Ira Whiteside. Now, T-SQL is just the language you use to talk to SQL databases. The important word here is open. It means you can see all the code, you can change it, you can make it fit your exact needs.
So how does this thing actually work? Well, you can think of this T-SQL kit as a lab. It runs a whole battery of tests on your data, and at the very end, it spits out this incredibly detailed report card.
The whole process basically runs in three main stages. First, it starts simple with table statistics, like how many records are in this table. Then it digs a little deeper into column statistics, finding things like nulls, blank values, the minimum and maximums. And finally, and this is super important, it analyzes what's called domain statistics, which identifies all the unique values and their patterns. Think, does this column look like a zip code, or maybe a phone number?
And the final output? It's what's called a metadata mart, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a database that describes your other database. And as you can see right here with this sample customer table, you get this super clean summary of every single column. Metrics like the null count, the most popular value, and even the most common data pattern it found. It is incredibly detailed.
Okay, so here's the thing. We've got our lab results. We have this comprehensive report, but let's be real. A huge, complex spreadsheet that's just full of numbers, it isn't very insightful on its own, is it? We kind of need a specialist to help us figure out what it all means.
And that is where our specialist comes in, the second piece of this puzzle. We're going to bring in an AI research assistant called Notebook LM to help us interpret these results.
Now, it's really important to note, Notebook LM isn't like your everyday ChatGPT. Its superpower is that it becomes an instant expert on any document you give it. And this is the crucial part. It gives you answers based only on the stuff you upload. This is huge because it keeps it from just making things up and keeps it completely grounded in the actual facts from our data report.
Okay, you ready? Here comes the aha moment. Let's connect these two tools, the T-SQL Profiler and our new AI assistant, and build one seamless, really effective workflow. First up, just like we talked about, we run those T-SQL scripts from Ira Whiteside's kit against our database. Boom! That creates the detailed data quality report card that we saw earlier, capturing all those raw stats about our tables and columns. Step 2. Honestly, it couldn't be any simpler. We take that spreadsheet, the one full of all our data's health statistics, and we just upload it as a new source document right into Notebook LM.
And just like that, that's where the magic happens. The AI reads the entire report and boom, it's instantly an expert on your data's quality and its structure. It completely transforms that boring, static file into a dynamic, interactive knowledge base that you can actually talk to.
So what does this actually look like when you use it? Why is this such a big deal? Let's take a look at the real payoff of this whole workflow.
And this is the transformation, right here. Before, you were staring at a really complex line of raw stats, something like null domain ratio 0.11. Now you're just asking a question in plain English, like, hey, which columns have the most null values? It totally gets rid of the need to manually try and figure out what those spreadsheets are saying.
and you can ask almost anything about that report. You can ask for a big picture summary, you can ask it to find columns that look like they have phone numbers, you can even tell it to generate a brand new custom report for you. This makes really deep data analysis accessible to pretty much anyone on the team, not just the data nerds.
You know, this whole workflow, it's so much more than just a clever little technique. It really is a glimpse into the future of how we're all going to interact with data, and maybe more importantly, how we create real business value from it.
This really opens up some new doors for data professionals. I mean, you could use this workflow to generate automated quality reports for clients. Or you could offer consulting services to help companies set up their own conversational data analysis. You could even use it as the starting point for much bigger data governance projects.
And the AI platform underneath all this, it's built to scale. It starts with a pretty generous free tier, which is great for individuals or small projects. But it also has pro versions with much higher limits on things like chat queries, which means it's totally ready for serious enterprise-level needs.
So that kind of leaves us with this big provocative thought. This combination of open source inspection on one side and AI-driven understanding on the other, it really suggests that very, very soon, getting deep, meaningful answers from our most complex data might just be as simple as asking a question.